Thank you for tuning in. It's Tom Landry at Benchmark. I wanted to share with you a little bit of my history in the real estate world. I grew up rural. I grew up in Steep Falls, Maine, and it's a part of Standish. It's not even its own town. That's how small it is. So my folks, I was the youngest of 10 kids. I grew up in a house that was, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad worked at SD Warren as a rigger. And we lived in this amazing home. So my affinity for real estate really started in this lovely Victorian home that I grew up in. And my dad worked on it nonstop. And of course, being the youngest of 10 kids, we worked on it with him. So my brother and I were constantly working on that property. And I grew to love real estate and homes at that time. Another favorite memory of mine growing up was when my mom and I would sit at the kitchen table and we would sketch out properties that maybe we would drive by and say, hey, we could do something there. We could change that around. Maybe we start a business. And funny enough, we had a property at one of our neighbors' own that we thought about that with, and we ended up buying it, restoring it, and putting it on the market years later. So fun stuff, and started from when I was a little guy with an affinity and a love for property and even the restoration side of things. So flash forward, 19 years old, buy my first property, sell it a few years later, buy a few multis, go into school, into college, get out, work in a corporate world, and I'm still working in that real estate environment all that time. Not until I met my wife, Amy, did she encourage me to get my license. And it was really one of these aha moments, you know, when you realize you've found something that you're meant to do. And I really do believe that I'm meant to do this, not because of accomplishment or ego, that I really truly add value and help people through what is one of the most stressful and impactful and financial decisions of their entire lives, the purchase and sale of any type of real estate. And I've really tried to focus on a broad segment of things. You know, when I'm dealing with a seller or a buyer, it's not just on one segment. Many times people may own, for example, Marika Kuzma, who owned 64 Pine Street over here on the West End. She owned that building, and I sold her business. I sold her real estate there in this commercial thing, but I also sold her residential condo. It's nice to go, when you find somebody you trust, to go to them on multiple things. So I've never, maybe it's my curiosity, maybe it's wanting to do a whole bunch of things and help people on a broad segment, but I've never pigeonholed myself into, hey, he's just the condo guy. Real estate and life is a little more complicated than that. So that's my history in real estate. I've owned the firm here at Benchmark for about 20 years. I'm excited to be surrounded by some of the best agents in Greater Portland and Southern Maine. And I know we can do a great job for you.